Hello, and welcome to this overnight taste change. All right, it's nighttime in America. It's a little chilly outside, not cold yet, but enough to put on pullover, whatever you call this thing, pullover, a hoodie, pullover with a hoodie. Okay, dark distilled rum imported from the Caribbean islands, Winn-Dixie liquors, 40% alcohol. Oh, nice looking label. It's got the guarantee stamp on it. It's not really a stamp, it's just drawn on there. It's not really wax. To my knowledge, these are only sold in these big plastic handle bottles, formerly glass. I think until the 1990s, they were glass, and then they converted to plastic at some point. I can remember WD Winn-Dixie liquors my whole life. As a child, people would buy it for, you know, graduation parties, stuff, family get-together, stuff like that. So it's inexpensive. I don't know if it goes back to 1955 when Winn-Dixie was established from the merger of Winn and Dixie grocery stores, but it's plausible because, like I said, I think they've always had private label brands, but it's unlikely, but it's possible. Who knows? We've been having Winn-Dixie in this town since 1958. Only 3 years after the founding of the chain. But now it's been bought by Aldi, so I don't know what's going to happen with it. But anyway, this is imported Skol from the Virgin Islands. Now, I thought if it's from the United States Virgin Islands, it would not be an import, right? Because they're not gonna pay any import tax. If I go to the U.S. Virgin Islands, I don't need a passport. I just get on the plane and like if I'm going to Texas. And I was researching yesterday, and I did not see any big distillery in the British Virgin Islands. I saw a listing for a distillery, but more like a craft distillery that gives tours. Nothing that could produce something that be sold all over the United States. But I can't explain it. They're saying we know it's from the Virgin Islands somewhere. They're calling it imported. Okay. There are sirens. Could be a fire, could be a wreck. Got a lot of wrecks around here. This thing would focus. There we go. It's got a shield held up by two griffins wearing a crown. It's got three fleur-de-lis, a castle, tower, castle keep, and a barrel, a rum barrel, and it says Skol. Doesn't that mean cheers? Okay. Imported by and bottled for J.A. Doherty Sons, Owensboro, Kentucky. Look, J.A. Doherty and Sons is an old company. Goes back to the 18 something. But the family sold out in 1919 when Prohibition started. All it is now is a name. It's a name that is owned by Glenmore Distilling of Owensboro, Kentucky. And Glenmore is owned by the Sazerac Company. So I like the little diamonds on the bottleneck, glass diamonds all around. That's one of the Sazerac bottles. Kind of neat looking glass. It's very light. I don't know if it has coloring added, but if it does, they need to add more because it's so pale. I just think it's not colored. Because look how pale. Well, I'll show it to you when I pour this one. Now, this one's gold rum from, it said the Caribbean islands, which could mean any of the islands. Montserrat, St. Bartholomew, St. Eustatius, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know what I mean? No, I mean, could be from anywhere. Trinidad and Tobago, Guadeloupe, Martinique. So many island countries down there. Jamaica. Why is it so hard to find Skol lager? Well, it wasn't when I went to Spain. That was one of the top beers in all the stores. And they had like what was the alcohol content of Pabst, Miller, etc. before Prohibition? Was it stronger? I don't know. Probably about the same as now. Okay. When I went to Spain and then took the ship to Spanish Africa, okay, the Winn-Dixie is slightly darker, but these are both very pale. Look at it. They're almost like clear rums. So it appears that there's no coloring added. And I'm pretty sure they don't have coloring added because Sazerac is good about telling you if they're adding color. They'll just put it on the label. Caramel color added or natural flavors added. They'll just say it right up front. They don't say it, so I'm assuming it's natural, all natural rum. Tommy Carroll, good morning, Louisiana Liquor Reviews. If I remember right, rum is one of your favorite taste challenges. It is. They're all my favorite, but you know what I mean. I like the rum. So I went to Africa to a territory called Ceuta, part of Spain, but it's in Africa. There's two parts of Africa that are on the mainland, but they're considered part of the Kingdom of Spain. And the Canary Islands are off the coast of Africa, out in the Atlantic. They're considered part of this Kingdom of Spain. And then there's 3 islands in the Mediterranean, the Balearic Islands, like Ibiza and Mallorca, and they're part of the Kingdom of Spain. So Spain owns a lot of islands out in that area of the world, and they own 2 mainland territories in Africa. So I went to Ceuta because it was only 11 miles from the mainland of Europe. That's how close Africa and Europe are, 11 miles. But as you can imagine, one of the first things I did was go check out the beer selection. So I went to this big grocery store in a mall. They had a big shopping mall, not huge, but medium size, and it was nice. And but they had a grocery store in there. I can't remember which one it was. And they had a big beer selection right on the wall, on the aisle. And they had big liter bottles of Skol, green label Skol, for 99 cents. I bought one. I think I bought a can of it because, no, I did buy the bottle. I can't remember. Because I was buying, but I bought it and I tried it, and I have the videos posted. If you look at the video, you can see what I'm pouring it out of. They didn't have a mini fridge. Those hotels over there, they're like really basic. They had no mini fridge, you know. So I had to put them in cold water and try to get some coolness on them because it's not, even though it was November, it wasn't cold over there. But it was common. The whole point is Skol was common. Talking about the beer over there in the regular part of Spain, you know, the main, you know, what we think of Spain, Algeciras and La Linea de Concepcion. And they had like an extra strength Skol. I should have bought that one. It was like, Skol was 4.6, and then they had the extra strength, which was like 6.5 or something, the malt liquor version, but I didn't buy it. That was a mistake. Huh? And then they even had an extra strength Amstel. You know how we get Amstel Light in the United States? They had regular Amstel and Amstel Extra Strength. I was like, man, look. In layman's terms, can you explain to me what are the beliefs of a social democrat? Well, I'm in the middle of a taste challenge. Okay, let's do the screen share. They just believe that the voters should elect socialist leaders. All right. And not set up a dictatorship. That's what they call it. you'll notice that once they get elected and are in power, they seem less interested in democracy than when they were running for office, more into control after they're in power. But, you know, that's how they operate. Skol Rich Gold Rum is of the highest quality rum. Really? For $12.99? Which is distilled from sugar cane, then often aged in barrels. It is an imported Skol Gold Rum that brings the bright and vibrant taste of the Virgin Islands to the States for everyone. This rum is bottled at 80 proof. Enjoy! There's the big handle for $12.99. Here's Winn-Dixie. Dark distilled rum, $12.99 until January 7th, while supplies last. And you can figure around Christmas and New Year's, there's a good chance that the shelf will be empty. The shelf will be empty because people will blow this stuff out because it's inexpensive for all these Christmas parties and New Year's Eve parties, okay? So same price, $12.99. Now I got this liter bottle for $6.99. $6.99 at International Market. Well, I thought that was a fair deal for a liter, you know. You get it. $12.99, $6.99. All right. And they had the white and the gold for $6.99, either or. So I bought both. So yeah, that's Social Democrats, socialist, and they believe in democracy. They claim. Okay. That's up to you. Whatever you like, be like the modern American Democrat Party. Be Social Democrat. I'm good with Bacardi Gold Rum, says Robert. Yeah, me too. I'm getting low on it. I'm not going to repurchase it. I got so much stuff, but I do like it. I mean, none of these other ones that claim they're the best can compete with Bacardi. No way, Jack. All right, these should be very close because they're coming from the same parent company, Sazerac, Buffalo Trace. They're both coming from the Caribbean somewhere. We know here is the Virgin Islands. This could be from the same facility in the Virgin Islands, honestly, but it doesn't make that claim. It just said the Caribbean islands. So it's probably a blend of different island rums that they got cheap, you know. Okay. And probably these are aged. If it's a year, it'll be a shock. If these are aged a full year, I'd be shocked. That's why they're so light. It doesn't have enough wood age. You know, it has enough barrel contact to give it the slightest little yellow, pale straw thing. Straw more than yellow. It smells like air, like clear air. You know, no pollution. It smells like nothing. This smells like sweet sugar and oak. You say sweet sugar, that makes sense. Right. I bought that. I was at the Office of Redundancy office when I thought of that. Okay. Now, the part of the video where I do the tasting. And you say, you do these again and again and again in an endless loop, and it never stops, and it goes on and on like a mania, like a frenzy, like a frenzy, like Alfred Hitchcock. Okay. Yes, there's no end game. Hey, just woke up. Skol, Ronald. Same to you, Double D. All right. And I'm picking up a little oak here right about now, but there's not much happening on the aroma here, and there's a little bit happening there, but there ain't much happening either way. anything foul or off-putting on the nose. Nah, nah, that's fine. Fine, just fine. All right, taste. Clinking the mugs. Very alcohol. You say, well, it is 40% alcohol. That's right. Is this rubbing alcohol? No. This is ethanol. That would be the wood alcohol, and it would kill you. But it does taste like that. It's got that feeling of like you cut your leg and you went to the doctor and they said, we got to pour this alcohol on it to clean it. It's going to sting. And you're like, oh, damn, that hurts. So you say, oh, wow, it's got the wonderful flavor of the doctor's office. Mm-hmm. Yes. And a little tinge of sweetness and possible wood. So am I trying to say that this has a basic flavor? That's about what I'm trying to say, and that is what I am saying. Oh, golly gee. I should have brought in Albertsons first, because I got a bottle of Albertsons silver rum, the last of the collection, because it's gone now. I don't mean gone from my house. I mean gone from the stores. Albertsons phased out all of their name brand liquor. And I bought the last bottles, and they were only $2.99 for a half size. So you figure $5.98 for a full size bottle. The reason I wanted to bring that one in first, because that's the oldest brand. Albertsons established in 1939. That's when the company was formed. I don't know if they've had private label liquor that long, but they may have. And this is only from 1956. So I went out of sequence on chronological. That's no big deal. No one cares. I got this obsession with that. Okay. But yeah, I'll bring the Albertsons silver next time. No, what am I talking about? These are gold rums. Oh yeah, scratch that. And I only took one sip of rum, and now I'm confused. Oh, so very confused. No, but that's right, silver and gold, silver and gold. Yeah, so I did the silver last time, the Winn-Dixie silver rum. It was nice, nothing great, nothing fantastic, but nothing bad. Okay, yeah. So I got it right. I'm in good shape over here. Remarkably similar. If you want to get techno. Which one of these would I prefer? Both, since they taste identical. Slight little sugar. So they are dry. Now I'll give them that. They're saying rich gold. Well, what's rich about it? Rich to me would mean like, it's like so sweet. It's almost like gagging a little bit if you ate too much of it. Like after you eat like wedding cake, and then the icing, and after a while it's like, ugh. You sticking your tongue out like, ugh, turning my stomach. It's so rich in it and everything. But I'm not seeing that. Now the dry white. They have Skol. I have another bottle in the cabinet. It says dry white. Yeah, it is dry. Hardly any sweetness. I'm not seeing the richness here, so I don't know. Whatever they tasting is not matching what I'm tasting. And I think I had mentioned that before. But maybe this one has a little more richness too, because it is a little more pronounced flavor, a little bolder flavor. But I don't know about the rich. Are they sugary? Well, yeah, because they're made from sugar cane. Yeah, I would just pick whatever one was cheaper. But in this case, they're the same price, so there would be no difference. It would be the same result with either purchase. So it would just be a pick 'em situation. Flip a coin. You say heads is Skol and tails is Winn-Dixie, and you flip and you say, okay, I'm buying a Winn-Dixie. Simple as that. Oh, I'm sorry, simple as that, not that. I'm sorry, I'm from Louisiana. We don't know how to properly speak. And some people really don't know how to speak properly around here. Like that next town up the river, they'll say, I always thought that was strange when I would hear them speaking in school. They would say, I'm going to come by your house. I never heard that growing up. And I only lived 4 miles from the town, or less than 4 miles. And I never could, I would always think to myself, what do they mean I'm going to come by your house? They're going to pass in front and then just keep driving or riding their bike? But what they meant was, that's an idiom. We call that an idiom, IDIOM. What they meant was they're going to come to your house and visit you. But I grew up, we would say, I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to your house tomorrow. I'm going to go see you or whatever. I'm going to go to your house. That's what we would say. Or go to your home, but I don't really recall anybody saying go to your home. They would say house. But this thing, when I started hearing that, I'm going to come by your house, I'm like saying to myself, why would someone say it like that? And that's how this place was years ago. Every town had a different accent and a different expression, set of expressions, I think. You could tell if a person was from Lutcher or Reserve or Vacherie or Metairie or Kenner, but they say Kenner, or New Orleans. You could tell what part of New Orleans they were from just by the way they would say New Orleans. If they were from uptown, in the Garden District, oh yes, my family's been living in New Orleans for many decades. If they were from the Ninth Ward, they would say, we from New Orleans. We always was in New Orleans. And if they were from Mid-City, they would say, we from New Orleans. We grew up on Roosevelt Street over there. We always was going to Rock and Bowl. I'm not really pronouncing that. I'm not really using the right accent. I work with some people from Mid-City, and they have a different way of saying, I can't mimic it. Okay, Dr. Frosty Bruce says, cheers, Ron, Dawn Busters. Yeah, but it's not even dawn right now. Maybe in 2 hours. Louisiana Liquor Reviews always got a kick out of when the lady said, bless your heart. What lady? Bless your heart. I did hear old ladies in New Orleans saying that, bless your heart. Over here in these river parishes, they'll say, you having a good Christmas time, Shan? What's wrong, Shan? Which I never heard growing up. That was some kind of like weird way of speaking. But then around, I would say up the river there, that's what they say. What's wrong, Shan? Over here, some people will say, what's wrong, boo? What's wrong, boo? Okay, I'll tell you what's wrong with Night Busters. I'll tell you what's wrong with me. I can't figure these out. I'm gonna say that I believe this is the Skol because it's slightly richer, and they're saying rich on the label. So yeah, hey boo, that's what they'll say. What type of Asian immigrants does New Orleans mostly have? Vietnamese since 1975. Yes, Vietnamese. Although we do have a Korean Catholic Church. We have about 5 or 6 Vietnamese Catholic churches. I don't know of any Chinese Catholic churches, but I know that I've been to every Vietnamese Catholic church, St. Joseph's, and some of the names, A Lady of Lavang, Our Lady of Vietnam. Yes, and the Korean, and I don't remember. I don't remember how to say that Korean name for the Korean Catholic Church. Okay, Skol. Oh no, it's the WD. I couldn't even tell them apart, and that's the first one. Well, hey, look, listen here, Sazerac, Buffalo Trace. Y'all got to stop making different labels, and it all tastes the same. Cheers, back to y'all. Stop making 20 different rums that all taste like the same rum. Stop making all these different bourbons that taste the same, Buffalo Trace. Some are $90 and you got to get on the waiting list, and the other one is $11 and you taste them and you can't tell them apart. And I'm unanimous on that. All right. So you say, well, they do use the same mash bill. Yeah. Well, we better not go. We better not go there. Okay. Because you might get your feelings hurt. Okay, especially since you paid the $90 and you had your name on a waiting list. I can't find Buffalo Trace in Pennsylvania. Oh, it's very common in Louisiana again. $24.99 too. Some stores got a $22.99 again. $22.99 Buffalo Trace right on the shelf all day long. All right, y'all take care and go and watch the news. Bye-bye.